Hi, I'm Rick Richardson. Welcome back to the Salary Step Up series. This is step 14 in the series, and in this one we're going to talk about perspective shifting and seeing things from the other party's perspective. So when I say perspective shifting, what I'm talking about is setting aside how you see things from your biases, your prejudices, your perspective, where you're coming from, and try to see it from the other party's perspective. Now, when you're doing that, there is an old saying that can help you get into this frame of mind, and it is, you can't judge one person until you've walked a mile in their shoes, something like that. In any case, what it's doing is trying to get you to think about what it's like to be that person. If you're actually seeing a situation, a series of events, and you're seeing them from the other person's perspective, you will have a better understanding of how they're going to react to it, how they're going to respond to it, how they're going to view the values in it, how they're going to see how it's benefiting them. So let's consider this. If you were to do this exercise that I've recommended to people before, let's say you're going to play this other party in a movie. So imagine you're going to play your boss in a movie, and in this movie the boss is going to be asked to give a pay raise to you. Now, you're the boss in this, so you have to act physically and emotionally and logically like your boss. You can't just grant the pay raise because that's what you want. So what we're going to do is you're going to think about how your boss would react, and then in your mind you're going to create this movie. Play out the scene, and as you're presenting, well, not as you're presenting, but as the presentation of the pay request is being delivered, you, as the boss, are going to respond. Now, you have to do it as best you can from your current boss's perspective. Don't idealize what your boss is going to do. And then in doing that, you'll see how you can try to adapt and modify your presentation to best address how your boss will react. Now, this part is where I want you to think about the previous steps of rapport building, negotiation, influencing others, and give it a little more thought. I know we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but give it a little more thought of how it's going to be received. Really try to get inside of your boss or any of the other parties that are involved. That could be your boss's superiors if they have to take it up the ladder to get the approval. Look at all those different perspectives that are going to be involved in it, and then consider how those reactions are going to be and how you're going to deal with those reactions. One thing I want you to make sure you're clear on in this is that I don't want you to get bogged down in this. If this process helps you, it will probably come a little bit easier after you spend a little bit of time doing it. If you really can't get a grasp on it, I don't want you to see this as a imperative that you do this correctly. It does help a lot, and it can help you in dealing with the objections and the actual negotiation process and the presentation process. If you can do it, it will make it smoother and it'll help you a lot. But if you can't do this, don't get bogged down. This is something that is a recommendation on my part and something I highly recommend. But again, don't get too bogged down in it. If it comes easy to you, you'll find that you can do this a lot in other areas of your life, and especially if you're dealing with children and your spouse and other people that you interact with. You're going to find that understanding and shifting your perspective from their perspective, from your perspective to theirs, and seeing the world through their eyes will help you a lot in all your interpersonal relationships. All right, so let's move on to step 15 in the series.